Couple scammed out of $75,000. Help. I wrecked my house. This is on HGTV. I have no clue what this is about. They put it in my database for me to watch. So here we go.
Oh, wow.
So welcome to our home.
Thanks. I have a pretty good idea because you guys sent me a video, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want the full tour.
So this is my workspace.
Yes.
So
right here.
Right here. So this double functions as my work, and then this is where homework happens.
It's organized, but it does feel like you have a school in a corner right here. And then here you have an office.
Yes. So we had some contractors come in. We paid them money, and they left. They walked away. They didn't finish their work, and then the work was real shoddy. So yeah.
How does that feel?
It's hard because you lose a lot of the trust. So we've kind of just lived with it.
I've worked with a lot of clients like Jessica and Olin, where they've done a lot of Bandaid fixes to their house to try to get it to work for them. And while this may not be the worst wreck I've ever seen, it's clear that they need professional help.
I don't know if I would call it a Band-Aid fix. I mean, that is kind of the thing, is you make things look nicer. The opposite to that is what I call new builderitis, and it's where a contractor comes in and they basically have to tear everything out and start new to do anything, to consider it an actual renovation. But truly, that's where the costs really start adding up. And basically, as a house flipper, you can't make anything work if you're just going to tear everything out and restart. If you're going to do that, you might as well just flip houses. So I don't really like the way they almost talk about the Band-Aid fixes as if they're negative. I mean, you are making the place look nicer as long as safety and liability are taken care of. But of course, they're trying to make a show here, so they're trying to make it sound bad. And then as for the contractor who ran off, I mean, that is what we call the contractor's black hole, where they basically stop answering the phone call. They stop showing up to the job site. It's hard to get them back. However, there is always two sides of the story. Sometimes it truly is because a contractor sucks. They're not good people. They're trying to get their money and then run to the next job. And, they're not organized enough to come back. It could be because they suck as people, where they're doing it unethically. Most of the time it's because they're just not great at running an organized business, and so they're kind of always robbing Peter to pay Paul, and they just have to do what they have to do to make ends meet, and ultimately that ends up with them screwing somebody over like that. But on the other hand, there are also customers who really suck to work with. Maybe they were just trying to escape. Maybe those customers could never actually agree upon anything. They're always changing their mind, and so maybe they did this type of floor, and then they're like, well, I don't really like that. And obviously the contractor would have to charge them for that, and then charge them again for the next floor that they did. And then maybe they changed their mind about this thing and the other thing, and they were being a constant nuisance to deal with. Who knows the real story there, is my point. But there are always two sides to every story.
This is a big kitchen.
Yeah,
and dining area.
Dining area. So yeah, the kitchen. There is no storage.
So yeah, this area.
When I see a house like this and I see this beam that's going across the top there, it looks like they did some sort of finish work on it. But there used to be a wall there. There was a wall that separated the kitchen from the living room. And, it's in style to, of course, have an open living space. So at some point, they took a wall out and they put this beam in. And, anytime I see a wall that's removed, I'm thinking, well, did they use the right size beam to hold up that roof, or at least the ceiling joist? Did they post to the ground properly? There's rules on how you do that. Was there a structural engineer involved when they did that? Some of that stuff should be on record, or if it wasn't, it might be a DIY job, and maybe there are struggles there. Those are the things that I would be looking for. But obviously, whenever this wall was removed, it was done in conjunction with the floor, because if you look down, you can't see any flooring, patched in. So obviously, new floors got ran throughout this new open living space. Just always be looking for clues like that.
This is a big kitchen.
Yeah,
and dining area.
Dining area. So yeah, the kitchen. There is no storage. Is orange cabbage with that?
Orange wood.
Is that back in?
No.
Okay.
No.
So when we had the contractors come in, they started to actually pull out stuff. Right here, there used to be a dishwasher, but we don't really needed a drawer space, so we kind of...
Oh my gosh. Do they open?
Yeah.
They do. They take some effort.
There's no counter space. This is literally the space I use to make breakfast.
If you're gonna cut something, where do you do that?
I can bring it over to the table, or I'm like literally just in that space.
This window is definitely not properly installed.
No, they had put in new windows.
The contractor.
Yes, and none of it fit
Yeah.
in the entire
I
house.
feel like it's the wrong size.
None of this is done correctly.
Yeah.
And then, is that a gas line I see there?
Yeah, I'm sure that's not supposed to be showing.
You are correct. You're 100% correct. And it's actually really dangerous. And here's why. So your range is just kind of hanging out here. So you're trying to get a pot, you bump this with your hip, which I could easily see happening. You could easily have a gas leak in your
Got
kitchen,
it. Okay.
which is
Scary.
scary.
I mean, you always have a gas line that is exposed behind your stove. There's usually like a spot in the backside of a range to where, you know, like the little stub up can fit, so that way you can like flush the stove against the wall. Yeah, so it's certainly not ideal that it's coming out of the cabinet, but it's like just having a gas line exposed like that isn't necessarily a bad thing. And, you know, if you strapped it down properly, it wouldn't actually be that big of an issue, because no matter what, you're going to have the rough gas line just like that exposed, and then there's going to be like the flex line that's attached to the end of that, and there'd be a shut off at the end of it. So it would not be ideal to have that coming out of the cabinet, because then you're not going to be able to push the stove all the way against the wall, and so it's going to be ugly. But danger, I don't think it would be a danger. Also, I gotta say, I'm thinking as I'm watching this, like if you were buying that house as a flip, I mean, it's got like Formica countertops, and I guess they did a number on the cabinets, so I would have to do more than just paint those. So I guess you would ultimately have to take it out, redo that backsplash. You'd have to redo the cabinets and do new countertops. So at that point, you would remove that gas line and do it the right way. You know, have it to where you could actually get a range in there. But I mean, looking at a kitchen like that would only really cost you $5,000, maybe $10,000, probably closer to $5,000, you know, but I guess you have to do new appliances and such.
We need all new LVP floors and new lighting. And then we need to figure out how to make this a multifunctional space. So I'd love to add built-in desks along the wall with white oak open shelves above them. And I'd love to have a space for Jessica as well as a space for Liam to do his homework. And then I want to run that all the way across into the other side of the fireplace as well and add a ton of storage. The fireplace, we can overgrout the existing brick and paint it, and then do the same thing on the hearth. And I think that'll give us a really fresh new look. Over here, this is the dining area.
All right.
I gotta say, I don't quite understand why they would redo these floors. They seem fine to me. I haven't seen any spot that makes me think that they're not okay. You know, I'm looking at this right here. I mean, those are like wood floors, I believe. And so those are going to be, you know, considered higher quality than LVP. Of course, I love LVP. We put it in every flip that we do, but only if I actually have to do new floors. It doesn't seem like I need to do any here. You know, I just put in a new strip of cabinets, a new strip of countertop, and in fact, I said this earlier about needing new appliances, but no, these are stainless steel. Stainless steel is automatically thought of as nicer, so as long as those didn't have any issues, I probably wouldn't change those out all that much. And we would redo the backsplash, but it's only this one wall. I would redo backsplash up above the stove here, and I might even invest in a nice hood vent, depending on how quickly you see that when you walk in the front door. Always thinking about the first few things that you see in the front door. Yeah, otherwise, you know, this kitchen is going to be like less than $5,000.
In the dining room, I want to do a built-in banquette with a taller bay of drawers so we can put their small appliances in it.
Okay, now they're like really getting into the design stuff here, like building in these shelves and such. I never do that for a house flip. You want to leave things as blank as possible so people can come in there and imagine how they're going to add stuff like that. You know, you just do the LVP floors, you do the paint, and, you know, update some of the major features like the cabinets and countertops, but don't be building them custom stuff.
So in the kitchen, I want to extend that wall and get rid of the door. I'm thinking all new white shaker cabinets, quartz countertops throughout. I think that'll make a big difference. The sink stays where it is, the range stays where it is, but the refrigerator actually moves to the wall where the door was. To kind of make this into a U-shaped kitchen, we'll extend the cabinetry, we'll add a nice peninsula that has seating, and that'll almost work as an island, but it'll be attached. There's one other thing we have to look at.
All right, that's a pretty expensive kitchen that they just built there. And it is really great. So, I mean, it depends on the price point of your home. If you were selling like a $500,000 plus home, you might make the decision to do some of these additional touches. I didn't even mention all the lighting changes that they're doing. I mean, there's going to be quite a big bill in electrical alone, and that is if the stuff that's currently there is up to code. If they have to get into the electrical and then start bringing everything else back up to code, there's going to be a bigger bill yet. Obviously, you see that those are new types of appliances and such. I mean, now they're looking more like maybe $10,000-$20,000 on a kitchen like that, whereas you could get away with less than $5,000. So it really, once again, depends. If it's a lower price point home and you're flipping it, I'm probably not going to put in the type of money to totally transform a kitchen like that. Now, this is the people's personal home, and I think that all bets are kind of off on your personal home. It's just a different thing.
Oh, dang.
This was the bathroom that the contractor was redoing. And the first time they used the shower, it leaked everywhere downstairs. They just got frustrated and they thought that maybe they would just try to redo it themselves. And obviously they didn't make it very far.
So I think what they're saying there is that the contractor came in, redid the bathroom, and then it leaked. And so then they were going to start redoing it, but then ultimately vanished. So maybe these guys were really crappy. Now, building a shower is definitely something that leaks often, especially when there's a custom-sized shower pan, a shower base. And a lot of people will try to build those and they don't know what the heck they're doing and end up doing it wrong. And so if you are having a custom-sized shower with a custom-sized base and you want that, tiled, really you got to watch out there. There's a proper way to do that. There's like a liner that you have to use. You have to put in a special drain. There are some that you can buy pre-made, and I would really go that direction if I could. That way I prevent any issue of possible leaking. I've also seen in situations where a shower leak was as simple as just the plumbing got done wrong. And actually, I've seen quite a few times where the plumbing got done and then they came in later and put drywall like on the backside wall, or, putting the tile up, the concrete backing board that goes underneath the tile, and the screw actually went and shot the water lines, and that's where the leak was coming from. And so you want to look for those types of things. And truly, when I'm building a shower, I want to have the situation where the plumbing, the water lines that come in, I can access from a back side. Like there would be drywall, maybe it would be backing up to a closet or something.
I think it's really important that we focus on a really waterproof shower pan. All new shower tile, all new fixtures. And then behind the door here, there is a great opportunity to add like a design moment. So we'll have wooden doors and then really great storage behind that.
Okay, once again, not trying to custom build anything like those storage cabinets in there. Quick note is on the cabinets and the countertops. If you are doing bathrooms and kitchens, what you really want to do is use the same cabinets in the kitchens and the bathrooms and the countertops. You can do that in one swoop and get better pricing and, more consistent timelines that way. A lot of times I use the same tiles and, like different bathrooms throughout the house. Flipping houses is not really about doing the design thing. I know in HGTV, they, make it glamorous to do all the designs and all that kind of stuff. But when you're flipping houses, you are, focused on the business, not the hobby of the design stuff. You have a design and you just stick with it throughout all the properties you do.
There's work that needed to be done that hasn't been done. And the work that has been done has been kind of like a handyman fix. What the heck? What do you say?
It's tile.
What? There's a whole other kitchen under here.
I just want to point out how they pulled that up. They found the tile. They were surprised by it. Obviously, they're professionals. Point is, I'm reiterating this whole Bandaid idea where people are looking at it like it's negative. Like, it doesn't hurt you that the tile was underneath there. They made it look nicer. It was totally functional. It wasn't hurting anybody, but whoever did that project before did save some money. And, those savings may have been passed on to the person who bought the property.
All right, how are we looking?
Oh, it's right there. We're good. It's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. It's holding.
Wow, that's great news. I mean, we can move forward.
You get the tile, I'll pull the plug.
I love it. Okay,
right.
yeah. Tile I can do. Yay.
Thank you.
Most of the time when you are working on a project where you are pulling permits, part of the plumbing inspection would actually be filling up the tub or not the tub, but the shower basin that is built, making sure there's no leaks. So if you're going through the proper steps, that is going to get tested for you.
No more leaks in the shower. Soon this shower will be ready to use and we can patch up all the holes in the downstairs bathroom. Our next step is to add the tile backer to provide a solid base so we can actually install the shower tile.
One thing to be careful of is when they go in and put the tile backer in, concrete board, backing board. The rule with those shower pans is you can't put a screw in, like 6 inches above the ground, because then you basically make the waterproofing not functional.
This house looks completely different. Our new floor.
See, that kitchen cabinets were $15,500. The cabinets. Is that just the material? Then you got another $5,000 in appliances, plus you're probably like, depending on what kind of countertops they put in, that's probably like $4,000 worth of countertops. And then you got plumbing fixtures, and then you got the tile backsplash. I mean, they probably spent 30 grand on that kitchen.
Our kitchen is in. We've got our white cabinets. We've got our countertops. Look at these. This family lives in their kitchen. So adding a durable quartz countertop will give them a lifetime of cooking together. So we actually had a board milled through a special saw that made it look like this. This is a solid piece. So this material is actually going on the hood. And oh my gosh, we're making so much progress. Jessica and Alwyn love plants. So I thought it'd be fun to incorporate some green into their kitchen with a rustic tile.
Once again, it's their personal house. It costs them more than $1,000, I bet you, but fun. She incorporated some fun into it. That is not what you do when you're investing in real estate. What you do is you look at what all the houses on, for instance, HGTV are doing. Are they all doing subway tile backsplash with the darker grout? Great. Just do that. Because what happens is what people see in all these pictures and in the magazines on house.com and all that, that's what they imagine as good. Like that picture of the, for instance, subway tile is the picture they have in their head of a modern, up-to-date house. Don't try to get cute. Don't try to get cute. It's only going to cost you money. The only upside is for you personally. Once again, if it's your hobby to do that, just understand the difference between hobby and business making activity. There is no way that I can see that for instance, green tile increases the value of the home. It maybe if you hit it just right, it sells it a little bit quicker. Somebody walks in and really loves that house. But what you want to do is be as vanilla as possible without making ugly things, but be vanilla. Let people imagine their own style in the house.
So our grout lines on this.
We kept them small, they're an 1/8 inch, but because of the irregularity of these tiles, you're gonna see a decent amount more of grout than normal.
I feel like this one, I don't mind it with the tile, but I think it contrasts the countertop too much.
Okay.
So I like this one because it disappears more with the countertop. Just feels like some of the natural tones you're already seeing in the countertop.
True. And you're not gonna see as much, obviously, as that.
It's good. I like it. Yes.
All right.
Let's do that one.
All right.
You just shouldn't have to be making decisions like that on a real estate investment. You shouldn't be wasting your mental bandwidth making decisions on grout line sizes. You need to have a style and stick with it.
And today we get to install 2 desks. Jessica works from home a lot. Liam will come home, he has to do his homework somewhere. Everybody's using this corner. So I think to have 2 desks, one for Liam, one for Jessica. I love this color.
It's kind of a silvery green.
I don't care about this stupid storage stuff.
Pull it back.
Cabinets aren't gonna.
Yeah, he had them somewhat custom built too. It's just, we're not doing that.
This.
Oh my
I
God.
love these pictures.
So,
which actually makes it bigger.
yeah.
And then we're able to add these legs. These actually aren't structural, but it kind of feels like it's holding up the house.
Yeah.
When you're buying a real estate investment, you definitely need to understand what your expectations for a contractor is. Otherwise, you end up in a situation like this where, the work was halfway done, the people ran, they probably got paid more than they should have for the work that they did. Obviously, a lot of it needed torn out. You need to live by the number one rule that, yes, you need to pay contractors quickly for their work because a lot of them are working like paycheck to paycheck or living paycheck to paycheck. And so you don't want to leave them hanging for very long. However, never do you pay ahead. Otherwise, you end up in a situation like this. And you really should be testing the things that they're doing. For instance, that shower pan, they should have tested to make sure that it wasn't leaking. There was those issues with the windows, which I'm not even actually sure what they were complaining about with the windows. They didn't go into detail about what the issue was. But make sure that you pay quickly, yes, to keep relationship capital high, but you verify the work before you pay. Even more yet is setting the clear expectation on what you want done. And unfortunately, I wish that you could just go out and hire somebody to do the work and really trust them as a professional. But there are lots of people out there who don't have business being a professional. So I really think that it's important for you as the customer, the investor, that you are equipped with at least enough knowledge to know if you're being handled. It sucks that just to do a project, you need to equip yourself with that knowledge. But I think if you don't, you're setting yourself up for a potential disaster.